Hiya! Today I have a very exciting, it's not really unboxing, but an art haul to share with you. This is my birthday art haul, so a few of these things I've been gifted and some others I treated myself to. I went to London and visited a couple, one, two, three, I think like three art supply shops, and I kind of tried to make the most of the experience, because where I live we don't really have very good art supply shops, or generally you kind of have to buy a whole box of pencils and things like that, because they don't have single pencils and things like that, and there's not that much choice with sketchbooks. I can't wait to get started and share with you, and I hope you enjoy it. Cool. I might do some swatching for you as well. We'll see if the time allows, because there's a few things to go through. Okay, I'll just start as I go. I'm not going to do it in any particular order, but I'll leave the most exciting ones for last. So this one I've kind of really wanted to try for a long time, because I have some ink, and I have some ink pens and gel pens, and I just wanted to enjoy this notepad. It's just for taking notes and doing some lettering. I'm actually doing a lettering workshop at the moment. It's like a bootcamp, lettering bootcamp. So I might practice in this as well. And yeah, it's not a very expensive one, because it's quite small. So I thought I'll give it a go and see if I like the paper for future. Here I used some ink. I don't know exactly, but I think it might have been Parker ink in my fountain pen, and it doesn't bleed. And this one's just a Muji gel pen, which works just as well, and it's dotted, so you can kind of still have almost a blank page but have some guides. And how many pages it's got? 100. I can't tell, but it's quite a thick one. There's quite a lot of pages. 80? I think it's a bit unclear, but I think it's 80. Yeah. I think in my previous unboxing video, I showed you some of my art creation sketchbooks that I got, and I started drawing in this one. The stickers on the cover are by Sophie McPike, and this is almost the same thing. It's just that the color inside is different. So the paper in this one is natural white, which means it's off-white, and the paper in this one is pure white. And I always thought that I prefer true white, like really bright white, but we'll see, because I can now compare which ones I prefer. I have a few of these small ones in natural white, and I've got some different sizes in pure white. And yeah, I started drawing in it, and previously I thought that I didn't really like colored pencils, but I think it was just down to some of the colored pencils I tried. These are actually ones that I bought on my trip to London, so I can share them with you, and then you can see the actual art I made with them. But it handles different media very well, like colored pencils, watercolor, makes it buckle a little bit, but it's not too bad if you use it sparingly. Colored pencils, ink, and so on. It handles variety of media, and quite a good pocket-sized sketchbook. I'll share with you more of the art I made, drawings I made in this one when I'm showing you the materials that I bought, because then you can see how they fare in a sketchbook. I think I need to open one of them just to show you the difference, and maybe swatching this and the other one just for comparison, because I think maybe other people are also unsure which ones they prefer, and maybe this can help someone make a decision before they buy, so they don't need to buy something they won't be using or won't be happy with. Although honestly, I now learned that any sketchbook is good. As long as I can draw in it and, use it in some way, I probably will. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you want to get the most out of the stuff that you buy. So here's here's the bright white one. And I think it's got a name, but it doesn't say on the cover. Art Deco. And this one's just a regular one, I think. I can check that for you. SKBK red. I'm not quite sure what that means. And this one's Art Deco. And the Art Deco ones have white, bright white paper. Okay. So as you can see, the difference is quite noticeable. A lot of people say that they prefer this color of paper because it's kind of warm and it gives you a nice under color. And someone kindly commented on my last video that they use like PH Martin. I can never say it properly. PH Martin, like white ink to make whites on this one as highlights, or like jelly rolling. But I found jelly roll, I think it's called jelly roll, pen, gel pen. I don't like it as much, so yeah. Anyway, I have them now. I really wanted them in this color, so I can try them out. They come in a lot of different sizes and they're fairly affordable. So the ones I got in Jackson's were on sale, so they were super cheap, like less than £4 each, and these were about £4 or £5. I don't want to say for sure, and I won't be looking for my receipts. You can shop around for them. They're in a lot of art supply shops online. Yeah, I'll be swatching in them in a minute for you. And then I got a square one, just because I thought I'll give it a chance. And I wanted to get all the white ones, because all the pure white pages or Art Deco versions, because they're much harder to find. So yeah, I wanted to stock up on them. Generally, it took me about a year and a bit to fill those up, fill this one up previously, this size. And you can see a sketchbook flick through in one of my recent videos. I'll link to it at the end, or maybe in the description, so you can find it and see. But I think right now I'm working a lot more. I spend a lot more time in my sketchbooks, and I'm a bit more fast and less precious about them, especially now that I realized that, you know, previously I thought this is a really expensive sketchbook, and, you know, for some beginners it might feel that way. But it's a good enough quality to use mixed media in it and still enjoy it. So I think it's worth it. I think it's worth what you pay for it, because under a £10 sketchbook is still quite affordable compared to the more professional watercolor sketchbooks, and it's got quite a lot of pages, so it translates to 160 pages on each side, like if you count both sides. So it's a lot more affordable way to make a lot of art in a sketchbook without worrying about filling it too fast. And another one that's really affordable is this Sea White of Brighton, and these ones are really small, so 40 pages or 20 sheets, and it's very strong, so it's much stronger than these in terms of handling wet media, although it's actually, I should compare them. This one has 140 GM and this one has 104. Oh, okay, they're the same, but it feels like this one's a bit stiffer. I don't know why. It's maybe just the way that they're made. Yeah, it's very cheap. It's about £2 each, something like that, and it's a local, like, UK company, which is nice to, you know, give them a bit of support. I like to grab one or two of these every time I go to London Graphic Centre, just because they're so cheap. It's kind of like a no-brainer. I often use them for sketching my comics in them, because they're so inexpensive and they still feel they have a nice texture. The covers are a bit reflective and funny looking. They have lots of like red and green. I don't like their colors, so I always pick black instead. Yeah, but they do alright. I can maybe show you one, just because I just realized it's always nice to see what it does inside, like how it works. Ignore me, I don't know how to speak anymore. So like, you can use colored pencils in them, you can use graphite pencil, you can use These are alcohol markers, so they bleed through the pages, but that's quite... this might be Tombow, but the alcohol markers or Copics will bleed through the pages. Regular pencil. And as you can see, I'm not that, I just use it for, like a sketchbook should be really. I use it for everything and anything. All the ideas go down here. This was a design of my washi tape, and I used Muji gel pen in this. That's a Muji gel pen, and it doesn't bleed. Yeah, it's just a nice sketchbook that's kind of doesn't break the bank. And I use it a lot, as you can see. So that'll be really good. Maybe one day I'll do a video just on sketchbooks, so I won't worry too much about these because I'll dedicate more to comparing sketchbooks, perhaps. That will be... because I don't think we'll have time in this video to do all of the stuff that I'm talking about and like do a proper comparison. Another one by C. White of Brighton is this mixed media or all media cartridge paper one. It's exactly the same paperweight, so I think it's the same stock. But what I like about it is it's gone dirty, but it doesn't really matter because my sketchbooks always get dirty anyway. It's got a nice cover. It's got a good format. I quite like this working in this. It's also a lay flat one, so that's quite fun. I already started working. Okay, I think we're safe. There probably will be a couple cuts in the video because I had to cover my address or cut out when I showed my email address and stuff like that. But what I like to do at the front page of the sketchbook is to put in my contact details in case I lost it, because it was my second ever proper sketchbook. I lost it and I never found it again, so that was sad. I also did a flip through of this sketchbook finished. It also took me about a year. I need to put in the date, but it was just over a year and a half sort of time. This sticker is by Krystyna Baczyński. I always like to decorate my... And oh, that's her again. What a coincidence. I opened on a page with her details on. It handles mixed media very well. If you're interested in seeing the sketchbook in more detail, then please check out my other videos, because there I show you every single page and talk about it a little bit more. So you might want to check that out. So that's this sketchbook. It's also not very expensive. Again, I can't remember the price, but it's about maybe £7 or £8 or something like that. Yeah, very good one. I was tempted by buying a bigger one. Let me know what you think, what kind of sketchbook size you work in, and what do you prefer. Should I? I think for now, I'll stick to the ones I have, but should I invest in a A4? I kind of have some A4 sketchbooks, but I don't really enjoy them as much. Maybe because they're not hardcover, maybe. Okay, I'll start with the least exciting thing. It's a sharpener. And I bought this, I thought I bought this for the Chinese white Derwent pencil, and I didn't. I bought it for a different pencil, but thankfully it kind of works. So I thought it was for this white pencil, which I didn't get this time. I already had that, but I thought I can't sharpen it. Well, I was wrong, because the pencil I couldn't sharpen with any of my sharpeners was this one. And I can never say their name right because I never really learned French. Comte? Is it Comte à Paris? I don't know. But this one is like a pastel, chalky kind of pencil, and none of my other sharpeners worked. This one kind of does, but it's not perfect. But at least I can sharpen it now, so that's good. Not very exciting again, I know. I also got some refills for my Muji pens, so I went to the Muji store. There's plenty of them in London. I don't know about other cities in England, but it's just a Japanese stationery, and you'll find everything in it. From food, clothes, stationery, cleaning supplies, pretty much anything you might want. I usually just get either a sketchbook and and some pens, but I still have a sketchbook. I haven't really filled it in, so I wasn't going to get more. I got a couple black ones and a red one, and they come in various different sizes. I prefer bigger sizes. They're like gel pens. And yeah, they come with refills. I kind of wish the refills didn't come in a plastic bag, because the reason to get a refill is to reduce plastic, not... Yeah, anyway. But once this one runs out, I'll be able to replace it with a new one. What should I go and do next? I got some washi tape. I love washi tape, and MT does quite a big choice of different washi tapes, so I have like... Every now and then I buy some, even though I made my own washi tape, so I have lots. But I'm kind of a washi tape addict, and I try and get like maybe one each time I go to an art supply shop. I try not to get more because I don't need more. But I like using different washi tapes on my when packing my orders, so you never know what color washi you get. Yeah, it's just a fun thing. Like, it's more for me than for people, really, because I just enjoy using them. I believe they always are matte. They do make some like transparent ones and with some like images and birds and things like that. But I kind of felt like simple sometimes is better, so I got this one. Okay. I talked about this. I went to... This was in Cas Art. And Cas Art is kind of a smaller art supply shop. There, if you want to buy quality supplies, then online is probably a better way, unless you can find a bigger store. I went to quite a small one, and they tend to have more of a... They have some single pens and pencils, but they mainly focus on like packs of things, and they have a lot of acrylics and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I kind of wanted to try this color of acrylic ink, and I know it's acrylic and it makes me slightly uncomfortable because I worry about it damaging my supplies. I know I can't use it in a fountain pen because it will probably clog it up and then you can't really wash it off. But that's the one I tried in this sketchbook. All I did is I just used the pipette and dropped it on the page and drew with the pipette, and then I used my glass nib pen to do it. And the color doesn't really come through, but it's very bright. It's like this rhodia. Maybe it will adjust. But in real, like when I look at it, it looks exactly like this, even though it doesn't come off like that on the video. And the color is yellow-orange AZO or AZO, I'm not sure. Pigment is PY83. And it says it's light fast, so that's exciting. That is exciting. I was hoping that it's light fast, but I didn't check. And you can see here, I wrote, here's an intentionally ugly first page, enjoy, because I always worry about the first page. Oh, it bleeds through this paper, so maybe I won't be using it a lot in this sketchbook, but that's fine. This is from a walk today. I just wanted to pick up some dry plants. Okay. Let's go on to... Oh yeah, I forgot about this clamp. I wanted to buy a clamp for my sketchbook that maybe was a bit more visually pleasing. I know it's only a clamp, but the ones I have are a bit ugly, and they're a bit too hard to use. They're very strong. And this one's very light, so it will go into my bag very easily, and they won't add too much weight. There's not much to say other than I was inspired about this particular clip by Katie Moody, and unfortunately I looked at all the colors and this was the only one that I liked, so it's the same as she has. I really wanted a different one. Anyway, I have some tumble markers. They're dual brush pens, so they're dual pens. So one end has a felt kind of brush nib, and the other has a much smaller and stronger, like stiffer nib. And the colors I got was 533, and on packaging they don't really say the name of the color, and 451. So these are the two I got. The theme was, I think, blue, because I was always scared of blues, and then I watched a few recent videos and I was like, okay, time to get some blues. I think I'm ready. I also got some Caran d'Ache pencils. And I have to say they were a little bit more expensive than you can get them online for. They were £4 something each, but an amazing thing you can do when you go to an art supply shop, especially a friendly one like this one, is if you're not, you know, excessive about it, you can test them out. And I even have my sketchbook. It's just a Moleskine. I don't really like Moleskine, so I only use it for like swatching. But I always swatch out all of my colors in it so that I know what I already have, and I put a star next to something I want to get next so that I don't end up with doubles. I already did that a few times, and you know, it's a bit annoying. So I got these a few new colors, but yeah, these are, you know, you just list out all the possible colors and then you go to the shop and you know exactly what you have. Yeah, not much more to say, but I thought it's a potentially useful tip, so hopefully it will help someone. I'll swatch everything out in a minute, just wanted to show you first. This one's a 719 dark phthalo cyanine green. It's a very dark green. I have one very dark green and I really hope that I didn't forget to swatch it and I don't have a duplicate, but if not, it's a very nice color anyway. Then we have, should I go with green? 015 olive yellow, very lovely green. Then we have this one, 077 burnt ochre. It's kind of like a reddish, orangish. Still learning about orange, that kind of spectrum of colors, if that's the right way to say it. And then obviously blues, because I was focusing on blues for some reason. 662, it's a genuine cobalt hue. No, blue, not hue, blue. And yeah, it's just a nice blue sky color, as is the next one. Turquoise blue. Yeah. They're kind of similar to these two. Not exactly, but kind of. And then I got some Neocolor 2 crayons. These are also by Caran d'Ache. They're water soluble. So you can, with Caran d'Ache, you can, with Neocolor Caran d'Ache, you can get either Neocolor 1s, which are not water soluble, or Neocolor 2s, which are water soluble. So it depending on how you want to use them and whether, you know, sometimes you want to put a line down and you don't want it to be dissolved with water. I have a couple of the ones that aren't, just so that I can do some line work and not worry about the lines melting away with water. I got color 141 called Sky Blue. Again, very similar. Not exactly, but similar. And I got light cobalt blue hue. If you're interested in like colors and things like that, check out Chromophile on YouTube. I'll link up to their YouTube account in the description. Or Katie Moody also talks a lot about these colors, and some of these are inspired by what she was saying and kind of really helped me to watch her videos and fill my gaps in the colored pencils with her suggestion or with what she's using, because it's really good to see how they look in a finished piece. So yeah, check out her videos if you want to see more about this. And I got this Caran d'Ache. It's like a massive pencil. Doesn't really say the name. I'm going to find it for you. Okay, I think it's just called Maxi L, which is really strange. I really can't, yeah, that must be the one, because that's the only one that I can't account for in the receipt. But it's like a bigger pencil, and I find this one layers on other media quite well, so it's quite a fun one to have. They come in fluorescent colors, which are really, really nice. They're not as soft as this one is. This one's quite soft. But yeah, if you want good fluorescent pink, yellow, orange, and I thought blue, but this isn't a fluorescent version, but it looked like fluorescent blue, so that's why I got it, because it's the one I'm missing. Oh yeah, look at them. They're a bit rare in the UK, but you can find them in the London Graphics Centre. Okay, and a really exciting one that I finally got this one. It's the Magic Pencil by Koh-i-Noor, and this one's a space-themed one, and I have to say, well, you probably can tell from what I just said about fluorescent colors, but this one has all the fluorescent colors in one, so it's really fun. And this one I used on pages here. So I drew this character using this pencil, the Burnt Ochre one by Luminance, and this pencil, and that's the only two colors, the only two pencils I used to make all this, variety of colors. I really loved it. It's like magic, so yeah, that's what the name says anyway. And I did the same with this one, although I also used this dark cyanine green on the background, just to add a bit of. I kind of started looking at the texture and I was like, oh, I like this texture. I want to make that background darker so that the squirrel, I think it's a mouse actually, stands out a bit more. And then I used this color for the leaves, just to make them slightly different, because it's really hard to control colors coming out from this pencil. So yeah, these are the two pieces I made using these pencils. And yeah, it was just really fun. I drew it on the train. It's nice to switch off on the train and not worry about anything around you and just draw. And lastly, oh no, not yet. We haven't come to the last thing, but that's second to last. I went to Choose and Keeping. This was my first visit in the shop. I shopped with them online a couple times before, and I was always really happy, but their postage is a bit more expensive than maybe I would like to pay, so I went to their in-person, regular shop. And yeah, I enjoyed browsing, and everything in the shop is very nicely and neatly organized, and it's very curated. So yeah, it's just a pleasure to be in the shop. Even if you go there not to buy anything, it's still a really nice experience, and you can just browse and see all the different things they have. There's a lot of Japanese stationery in there. There's inks, there's English inks and Japanese inks, pens, pencils, a lot of different things. So I got this mono pencil. I don't know what I have for graphite. I have so many graphite pencils, and they're the most boring thing in the world, but I kind of like, I think this might be like a calligraphy pencil, so it goes thin and thick, and I've tried that with mono pencils before, and it does work this way, so I think that's probably what this one was, but I can't remember because it doesn't say. But then any art supply, you can use it for anything you want. You just need a bit of creativity, I guess. And I also bought this Japanese brush. It's a brush used for calligraphy. And my friend from Japan was actually with me in the shop, and she confirmed that she indeed used this brush as a kid at school with some sumi ink. I really wanted to try sumi ink, and I didn't find any in London, so I'll have to get it online. Which is a bit strange, because you'd think that's not such an unusual thing, but maybe not a lot of people buy it. But they're best used with sumi ink, because I think that's how they made, what they're made for. I also got this clip. I wasn't sure if I'll find the other clamp. It's a bit hard to use, so I might be using it a bit more sparingly, because it just hurts my hands. Just a clip. And then last, but definitely not least, this is a gift from my partner. It's from this lovely company in the States, the Onion Skin Journal, and I just really wanted to try it after seeing a video by Sophie McPike. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Sorry about that, I just had to have a glass of water. I don't really speak for prolonged periods of time like this very often. So yeah, as I was saying, I got this after seeing a video by Sophie McPike where she showed a fully filled sketchbook of hers from them, and I just fell in love with it, and I kind of requested it for my birthday because it's such a beautiful thing, and I couldn't find any onion skin paper in UK. The only ones I could find was Yupo, and it didn't have as many. They very limited on page numbers, and I just yeah. Anyway, that was a really nice gift from my partner. I just put in a leaf from my walk, and this is the first page. The first page in sketchbooks is usually glued so that the pages don't fall apart or fall off the cover. So this is perfectly normal. Some people don't draw on these pages, but I don't mind. It's still paper. And it comes with this lined and dotted under paper, so you can put it underneath and you can write. The paper is kind of very thin and it's very strong. It doesn't tear very easily, and it doesn't even bleed. Like, for how thin it is, this is ink and it doesn't even bleed, so that's quite interesting and should be fun, as you can see. Fun. Yeah, I just tried my ink again from my fountain pen just to try it out. I haven't done much in it still, and it came with a nice bookmark that tells you a bit more about the sketchbook. My voice has gone funny because my throat is still playing up. So I think what I'll do next is I'll try and switch out all those things for you. Okay, let's get started. I'll start with, this is a kind of like a Fuda, a fake brush. It's like a very hard tip, and it's filled with ink. It's by Kuretake, I think. And then we have a Muji pen, so it's just a gel pen that I got refill for. So I'll show you both colors. It feels very juicy on this paper. There must be something about this paper that makes it so. This is a Tambo Fudenosuke. It's a brush pen with pigment ink inside. And because it's pigment ink, it means that I believe it's light fast. But yeah, this is a brush for calligraphy, so you can make thin and thick lines. But it's not part of my haul, so I won't be talking too much about this one. Okay, I can probably try this one out because I don't know if it will bleed, but to protect this. To protect this piece, I will put some other junk paper in between the pages, just because it might bleed, who knows. Sometimes these inks bleed, like it did in my other sketchbook. Do you know why? Do you know what makes... I know alcohol markers will bleed on a lot of different papers, and you kind of have to get a special paper for it. But I'm not sure what makes other things bleed, like acrylic ink. Why? Yeah, if you know, let me know. And found it. It kind of, this ink stained my glass pen, so that's what I was saying about being a bit worried. But it's only a tool. It doesn't change how it works. Being stained doesn't change it, so I think that's okay. I'm trying to be less precious about everything because I have so many really nice sketchbooks still untouched because I'm worried about making ugly art in them. In inverted commas, obviously, because it's all practice, it's all sketchbook work. It kind of almost bleeds, but it's not too bad. Let me try and use a pipette. So in my other sketchbook, this kind of amount of ink bled through the page. I'm just going to wash my nib. So it seems like this ink is staining. Okay, let's try Tombow. And Tombow can also be used for calligraphy. That's how I learned about them, for calligraphy. I'll swatch all of these out in a different sketchbook. Yeah, it's not perfect for colored pencils. I didn't expect it to, just because of the type of paper this is. But like Caran d'Ache are kind of okay on this. So maybe I can experiment. And this one I was expecting to go on almost anything. I don't know how they do it, but this pencil is like a dream. Maybe it's the pigment. Sometimes the pigment determines how things come on the page. We can try this one. And this is perfectly fine. Okay. So that was the Onion Skin Journal. It comes with a small bag, and it's like gold foiled and embossed. It's just so pretty. Didn't I? To compare the two. So let's do that. Let's do double swatching. Let's start with Caran d'Ache 77, color 77. This is a lovely color. And I wouldn't normally go for, like, I tend to not go for bronzes, oranges, red. To me, there's only one red and one orange, but actually, this is kind of in between red and brown, I guess? I don't know. You can see how little I know about these colors. But it's lovely. And it's 77. Is it burnt? Burnt ochre. I was just curious whether this is different paper on the front than on the rest of the sketchbook, but it seems like it's the same. The texture is very different. It's much more smooth. And I really love Caran d'Ache luminance because I tend to press quite hard. It's a bad habit, or maybe it's alright, but yeah, it's something that I've learned with like Prismacolors especially. That was almost a disappointment, although I still love them when I tried them out and broke a few very quickly. Okay, the first one. Let's try Dark Phthalo Cyanine Green. I think I pronounced it maybe almost correctly. And I really love when Caran d'Ache, because some of the pigments aren't as soft as the others. Like I found some reds aren't, but greens generally tend to be very soft. And you can kind of use different sides of the nib as you draw to control the, like, I can show you. I want strong lines. I want soft lines. It's quite an easy thing to control. I've just obviously changed my swatching technique. Oh well. This one's 719. Very different. That is strange. I didn't expect them to be so different, but hey. This is how I normally tend to draw. And I was trying to embrace the texture recently, just to kind of see, because I kind of want to learn, at least learn, I don't have to use it a lot, but I want to learn how to make texture like this. And when I say texture, let me just show you closer, where you show some of the white through the pencil. And on here you can see a lot less of that, even though it's still visible. But you can see here, I filled in almost all the whites. So yeah, that's what I meant by texture or no texture. Okay, that's 2 down. Then we have this green, olive yellow, or yellow, I guess, 0.15. This one's much harder. Still semi-soft, I would say. Yeah, with the Caran d'Ache, even though they're my favorite colored pencils, you still get a bit of variety. I don't know how to say that. It's not the most consistent, but I think that goes for all colored pencils and all like paints even. Sometimes different colors behave differently. So yeah, if you ever try Caran d'Ache, maybe get a few different colors, or maybe research other people drawing with them or something like that. I also swatch them occasionally. Maybe I should swatch all of them out for you and compare the softness. It's very subjective as well, and it depends on paper. Like this one, I thought was much softer on the sketchbook, but the burnt ochre felt softer on the sketchbook. So yeah, it probably depends. Yeah, it depends on the combination of various factors. In general, Caran d'Ache are very soft compared to other pencils. Okay, I already love this color. I have used it already, I'll show you in a second. This one has a very soft feel. Sometimes the way a pencil feels determines whether I'll use it much or not so much. Sometimes it's about the, you know, how pleasant and relaxed drawing feels, not always about the end result. I was going to show you my work with this pencil. So I believe this was the one I'm about to swatch, which is this color. And it was on top of a Posca beige acrylic marker pen. So the colors are very like altered, because you can see them here, but on top of another medium they change slightly. But these are all the materials I bought in London, apart from the line work, which was done with this, and on top of the beige Posca, it changed color to more blue, which was a bit of a surprise for me, but I think it works. So yeah, I just wanted to show you quickly something finished, or kind of semi-finished. I don't do a lot of finished work at the moment, I'm just enjoying the process. I hope you don't mind that. At some point I'm sure I'll share making a finished piece. And another one, 662, and the color is Genuine Cobalt Blue. With colored pencils, it's nice to get them as singles, that way you don't end up with a whole box of pencils that you only use a few of. And in a way, even though if you buy a whole box, it might work out cheaper per pencil, but if you think about the pencils you will end up using from the box, maybe it will work out more expensive because you end up using a lot less than there is in the box. So yeah, it's a balance, I guess. I tend to buy them separately, and I love shops that offer them separately. In fact, my first ever encounter with Caran d'Ache was in like a small framing shop in Winchester, and they were selling singles, and I only got one, and I immediately wanted to go back. The shop was already closed by the time I tried it out. I was just drawing in plein air in Winchester, and I realized that I loved it so much that I wanted to go back, but they were already shut. And I've loved them ever since. I love like buying random supplies that I've never used before and seeing what happens, you know? And yeah, just trying random new things. Okay. Because this is a genuine cobalt blue, but this one is light cobalt blue hue. I'm going to swatch it underneath. So this one's Neocolor 2, the water soluble pencils. And this one's 661. Do you have any favorite art supplies that you would never want to not have? If you know what I mean, if they ever stop being produced, would you be sad? Let me know in the comments. I always love finding out new supplies, and also maybe other people will see your comments and be inspired as well. Or let me know if I've inspired you. Like, please don't go off and buy lots of supplies. This was a present, mostly a present. I got some money from my mum, and I had some that I definitely needed to buy for my art practice. But yeah, maybe it's inspired you to try a new medium or a couple new pencils. I used to just, especially when I was starting out and didn't really know what I wanted to do and use, I used to buy like a couple pens a month, and that was it. And that way I built up the colors over time, but I also didn't invest a lot of money upfront into something that I didn't know I was going to use. So yeah, I used to treat myself to 1 or 2 Copic markers every month. And that way it didn't break the bank, even though they're expensive. It was a small investment. But, you know, if you think it's a long-term thing that you'll be drawing for a longer time, over a longer time you will just start getting a nice art supply stash. I don't know how to call it. So these are all the colors I just swatched. Let's compare them side by side. Yeah, basically I don't want to convince you to just suddenly go on a shopping spree and break the bank when you maybe don't need to. But hopefully you can see from here what you might want to try out. This white paper has a lot more sheen to it than the yellow one, or yellowish one. The colors aren't that different, and I'm just checking them on my camera to make sure that the white balance is correct. So yeah, they're not extremely different, but definitely a different feeling from this one to this one. This feels more true to color. Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's the first page of swatching. Let's keep going. I'll try and speed up because actually I might even speed up some of the swatching for you so that it doesn't take forever. Do you prefer longer swatching, rambly, talky swatchings, or just a quick bish bash bash, done? Okay, what I was just saying, and I got a bit rambly so I'll probably edit that out, was do you prefer rambly, talky videos with swatching, or do you prefer someone to just get on with it and quickly swatch and show you? Or yeah, just let me know. It's always good to know what you might prefer. You know, I'd rather make you happy with what I'm making here. These videos are for you, so yeah, let me know. I'd like to know. Or anything that you might see in the video and would like to know more of. So I know someone's requested me if I could swatch out some inks that are, or like talk a bit more about inks that separate color, that have separating colors. So I might do that soon. Yeah, anything like that, let me know. I'm always happy to fulfill your requests if I can. So this one's the Maxi pencil, I think it's called. Yeah, Maxi L by Caran d'Ache. And it's got this 161 color, which kind of matches the cobalt blue, if I'm right. Yeah, 661, 161. Okay, maybe not. Anyway, it's called Caran d'Ache, and it's got numbers. So Caran d'Ache pencils have different numbers next to their like sub-brand, I guess. I don't know what to call it. So this one's 6901 luminance, and then the color number 662. And this one has 498, and 161 is probably what the color itself is. And the same goes for Neocolor. So you have 7500, which I think refers to Neocolor 2. And then 661 is the color number. So they often match between the different, like Neocolor 1 and 2 will have exactly the same numbers for their colors. So you can match them exactly if you want to have two. One that is water soluble and one that isn't. Then you can get both. This evening I'm kind of excited because I'm joining two different drawing sessions. One is by Odd Orange, the Odd Orange Art, or the Odd Orange Stationery, and they have bi-monthly videos. It's like a Zoom call where people can join and draw together to prompts and to. It's quite challenging, but really fun. I always love them. They always challenge me to draw things I maybe wouldn't draw normally. So yeah, that's that. We'll be drawing critters, I think, like insects. And the second one is by Sophie McPike. It's a Scribble Brigade, and I can't remember if it's Patreon only or not, but you can check out her YouTube and see for yourself what's available for free. So this one was 451. And these are water-based, so that means they're water-soluble. And there's lots of tricks with them that you can do, but maybe that's for another video, where maybe I can talk about all the water-soluble materials I have or something like that. Let me know if you're interested. There's a few interesting things you can do with them. And then we can swatch this one, the Magic Pencil. I have a few of these Magic Pencils now, like 3 of this brand and a couple like non-branded ones. I think Choosing Keeping does them as well. They're a bit more expensive, but the colors, or you can get them on like other sites with art supplies. And the ones I have from different brands. This one's from Choosing Keeping. The way that the lead is made, it makes the colors a bit easier to control, so you can sort of make a nice gradient with them, but it's still unexpected. With these ones, what I love about them is they're very unexpected. You never know. And you can kind of play with it and turn it around as you draw, just to get different effects. I think it's quite fun. Even if the artwork, like at the end of the day, doesn't really work out, you still had fun in the process of making it. And these are probably not light fast because of all the neon colors in this. Okay, that's that. I don't think there's much point in swatching a pencil. It's just a graphite pencil. Although I feel like maybe there is, because I wanted to show you the calligraphy style. Okay, just because I'm already talking about this, I was talking about this sharpener, it just made a lot of mess. I do not know how to use this properly. It's just exploded. I couldn't empty it easily. Please let me know if I'm just being dumb or if it's just an annoying pencil sharpener, because I'm just slightly upset. Okay, let's give it a go. I'll just do it on one sketchbook because it's just a graphite. It's a very soft one. It's 6B. I love a soft graphite. Okay. I'm not doing proper calligraphy here. I know that's not how you're supposed to. Like L should be done, just if anyone's interested. And I've done it slightly wrong, but it's not what I'm trying to tell you about. What I'm trying to tell you about this pencil is think it might be the calligraphy pencil, but although I'll have to check it. It's that you can still achieve soft and thin and thick lines, so you can still kind of do real calligraphy even though it's just a pencil. Yeah, that's that. I won't be swatching the inks here because I think they will bleed here. I think that's all. I haven't tested the brush, but I want to test it with Sumi ink and maybe only use it with Sumi ink, so I don't want to like use that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me swatch any of the things that I mentioned and maybe see more about anything. The one that I mentioned about inks that I'm separating, I will be posting soon as I get to it. You know, sometimes you're just more inspired to do other things, but I will get to it, I promise. Because I know some of you have been interested in that. That's it, I think. Have a lovely day artsing, and until next time, bye!